Marrow, often called vegetable marrow, is a member of the squash family that once held a central place in home gardens, traditional kitchens, and seasonal diets across Europe and parts of Asia. Today, it is frequently overshadowed by its younger and smaller relatives like zucchini, yet marrow represents an older philosophy of food, slow growth, generous size, and practical nourishment meant to feed families rather than trends. Botanically, marrow belongs to the species cucurbita pepo, the same diverse group that includes zucchini, pumpkins, and many types of summer squash. What distinguishes marrow is not genetics but timing. While zucchini is harvested young and tender, marrow is allowed to mature on the vine. This longer growth period results in a larger fruit with a thicker skin, firmer flesh, and more developed seeds. In traditional agriculture, this was a feature, not a flaw. A single marrow could be stretched across multiple meals, stuffed, baked, or preserved. The origins of marrow trace back to the domestication of squash in the Americas thousands of years ago. Indigenous peoples cultivated early squash varieties not only for their flesh but also for their seeds and durable shells. These plants traveled to Europe after the Columbian Exchange, where selective cultivation emphasized size, storage potential, and mild flavor. By the 18th and 19th centuries, marrow had become a staple in British and Mediterranean gardens, valued for its productivity and adaptability. Marrow plants thrive in warm conditions with ample sunlight and nutrient-rich soil. They grow vigorously, producing broad leaves that shade the ground and reduce moisture loss. Historically, this made them ideal for small-scale farming and household plots. One or two plants could yield several large fruits throughout a season, making marrow a symbol of abundance and food security. Unlike many modern vegetables bred for uniformity in transport, marrow tolerated irregular shapes and sizes, reinforcing its role as a practical, not ornamental, crop. In the kitchen, marrow is remarkably versatile. Its flavor is mild and slightly sweet, acting as a neutral canvas that absorbs spices, herbs, and fats with ease. In British cuisine, marrow is famously stuffed with minced meat, breadcrumbs, herbs, and baked until tender. In Mediterranean traditions, it appears in stews with tomatoes, olive oil, and garlic. In Eastern European cooking, it is often grated into fritters or soups. The seeds, when mature, can be roasted, while the flesh softens into a creamy texture when slow cooked. Nutritionally, marrow is composed largely of water, which historically made it valuable during hot seasons when hydration was essential. It is low in calories but contains dietary fiber, vitamin C, potassium, and small amounts of B vitamins. While it is not nutrient-dense in the way leafy greens are, its strength lies in volume and digestibility. For populations with limited access to diverse foods, marrow provided bulk, satiety, and a gentle digestive profile suitable for children and the elderly. Culturally, marrow carries symbolic weight in rural societies. In Britain, competitive growing of giant marrows became a popular tradition, reflecting pride in gardening skill and land stewardship. In some regions, marrows were gifted to neighbors or preserved for winter use, reinforcing communal food networks. The vegetable also appears in historical cookbooks as an everyday ingredient, reflecting a time when meals were shaped by what the garden produced rather than what markets supplied year-round. As industrial agriculture expanded, smaller and more uniform vegetables gained favor. Zucchini, harvested early and standardized in appearance, replaced marrow in commercial supply chains. Marrow's size, thick skin, and variable texture made it less appealing for supermarkets focused on convenience and visual consistency. As a result, it gradually faded from mainstream diets, surviving mainly in home gardens and traditional recipes. In recent years, however, marrow has experienced renewed interest among gardeners, chefs, and sustainability advocates. Its ability to grow quickly, produce high yields, and thrive without intensive inputs aligns with modern concerns about food resilience and environmental impact. Marrow requires relatively little processing and can be grown locally, reducing reliance on long supply chains. Its re-emergence reflects a broader movement toward rediscovering heritage vegetables and valuing diversity over uniformity. From a culinary innovation perspective, modern chefs are reimagining marrow in unexpected ways. It is pureed into soups, layered into plant-based lasagnas, and even used as a base for sauces due to its creamy texture when cooked. Its mildness allows it to bridge cuisines, adapting easily to both traditional and contemporary flavor profiles. Marrow also serves as a reminder that food culture is cyclical. Vegetables fall in and out of favor not because they lose value, but because preferences shift. In a world facing climate uncertainty and nutritional challenges, crops like marrow offer lessons from the past. They demonstrate how simplicity, adaptability, and abundance once shaped diets in ways that were both sustainable and nourishing. Understanding marrow means understanding a different relationship with food. It represents patience over speed, function over fashion, and nourishment over novelty. While it may not dominate supermarket shelves, its story continues in gardens, kitchens, and traditions that recognize the quiet power of overlooked vegetables. Marrow is not just a squash. It is an agricultural memory, a culinary tool, and a symbol of how humans have long adapted plants to meet their needs. Rediscovering it is less about nostalgia and more about reclaiming balance in how we grow, cook, and value our food.